Well, we've reached the moment in our meeting where we want to talk about our guest speaker, and we have an excellent guest speaker today. It is Toastmaster Sudath Fernando, and the title of his speech is Communication Beyond Norms. Sudath is an award-winning Toastmaster and public speaker who has addressed hundreds of people on the topic of, um, of success and stability. His humor and thought-provoking life lessons have won the hearts of audiences. He has won 10 times on the level in the International Speech and Humorous Contest in Sri Lanka. Sudath was also first runner-up in the first semifinal of the District Humorous Speech Contest held in Mumbai, India in 2010. He is the winner and first semi-finalist in the District Humorous Speech Contest held in Vellore, India in 2016, and became the second runner-up in the finals contest. As a corporate leader, Sudath has been instrumental in resolving several prolonged industrial disputes on various political issues affecting economics in his country. Let's welcome Sudath Fernando to center screen.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster, for that wonderful introduction. It's a grand privilege for me to speak to a forum like this. Brothers and sisters from different countries, what a wonderful privilege. And I should say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I think different time slots. So thank you for inviting me. And in fact, I want to share something. I mean, I don't have to talk about communication with you, gentlemen, ladies. You know about it, right? Fantastic speeches. I was amazed with the way that you have taken the aircraft and explained about your countries. It is within a short period of time. I learned a lot. So thank you very much for that. I have a small presentation. Can you give me a co-host option?
Yeah, that has been given. You can try.
All right. Okay. All right. Can you see the slides? Right. Okay. Thank you. So, friends, communication, we know that is very important. In our younger days, small days, we used to go to elocution and we learned pronunciation, we learned grammar, we used to go to classes, right? In school, we learned the language, and then so we learned so many norms of communication, especially when you grow up places like Toastmasters. I think I recommend is the best place where you can learn the art of communication. So we learn these norms. Oh, the soft skills are very important. I'm talking through my experience in the corporate sector about 32 years. The communication skills are very important. So we learn the norms. Then if you learn all those things, you know that we can become good communicators, public speakers, and can speak in a crystal clear language. The very good grammar, using beautiful pronunciations, all these things we can learn and we can become good public speakers, especially in Toastmasters. We know how to organize our speeches, then using body language, tonality, expressions, all this comes, and using beautiful words, vivid words, rhetorical devices, and with these things, we can become good public speakers. So anyone can become a public speaker, I believe. But can our content move people to action? Can your content move people to action? A good question for us to ask. I mean, if you have all these ingredients of a public speaker, we can speak very nicely. But it's a matter of making people into action, pushing people to action, or comfort another person. Can we do that? What are the traits that we should have? I personally believe, even if you stammer, even if you have so many R's and N's, even if you mispronounce, even if your grammar is wrong, if you can change another person, if you can move another person into action, for me, that is what most important, a moving person into action. So what is the best, what kind of trait, what kind of virtue that we should have within us? So we all are good speakers. What kind of virtue that we need to inculcate within us to move a person into action through our communication?
Authenticity.
Pardon?
Authenticity.
Super. Thank you very much. Shiva, round of applause. Thank you very much for that. So authenticity, or you can call it sincerity, which is very important. Authenticity and sincerity. If you are sincere, if you are authentic, that will reflect from your words, that will reflect from your body language, that will reflect from your facial expression, that will reflect from your entire life. Then people will embrace. People will act according to your word. You can reinforce your thoughts. You can comfort another person. You can exhort another person easily. Now, where can we learn authenticity or sincerity? Is there any institution to learn that? I believe that it should come within us. When you talk about authenticity and sincerity, I'll just share a wonderful experience I have. I don't want to name that. I don't want to insult anyone, but he's from our hometown, and he's a fantastic speaker and politically inclined person. And he's involving in NGO also. NGO was working against domestic violence. So he's into good cause, and he had the title called Justice of Peace. In Sri Lanka, we have just title called Justice of Peace. So he's kind of a peacemaker, right? So one day I went to his house. I saw some flying saucers and plates were flying. So I was shocked because he was intoxicated and he was abusing, assaulting his wife. So, but the man outside the world, he has justice of peace, and he's working against domestic violence. So is that authentic, sincere? It's not that. People don't listen to that type of people. And when you talk about people who have moved another person to action, people who have added new dimension to the world, they are authentic and sincere. As an example, Chief Seattle. Everyone knows about Chief Seattle, a man who spoke about the nature, the tribe leader, the beautiful words, but that words has a great meaning, and he had a burning desire, instinct desire towards his words. He once said, "Love this earth as a newborn loves mother's heartbeat. Earth does not belong to man, man belongs to earth. So how can we buy, sell, or destroy this land if it doesn't belong to man?" So those are moving words, and he actually himself, he sincerely worked for it. That's why even today, if you talk about nature, Seattle's name is there, and our friends from USA. So the city is named after Seattle. I had the privilege to visit that city in 2017. So I believe he's authentic, sincere man. And when you talk about Nelson Mandela, he served 27 years in jail. After he was released, the blacks wants to create some, wanted him to take the leadership and create some kind of a war against the white people. But what did he say? If I can, I spend good 27 years in prison. If I can forgive them, why can't you? So that was, I mean, he was one of the successful leaders, and within a short period, he did a lot to his country. And Martin Luther King Jr., I really love that speech. I have a dream. So I have a dream to see every black boy holding arms of a hand of another white girl, or white boy holding hands of black girl, and sitting around the table of brotherhood. So those words had a meaning, and they had true burning desire or sincerity to work for us. So those people have moved people into action. So as speakers, we also should have that kind of desire when we lead the people, when we lead people into action as Toastmaster. We can do a lot, my friends. Now, I believe there's no institution, but it's a matter of changing within you. In fact, I personally, when I became a speaker, I realized there are weaknesses within us. So I believe it's a matter of stripping off the old personality and clothing ourselves with a new personality. So it's not that easy because we are imperfect people, but it's a matter of changing within us. In fact, since I'm scripturally inclined, I found good admonitions from there. So changing the old personality. I believe there are 4 aspects that we need to get rid of. Actually, I felt it because one is nepotism, one is egotism, racism, and if you have prejudice. So all these things, if you have those, even one of those traits, even I had, but I tried my best to change those things. Even if you have one of those traits, what will happen? That will reflect from the words I speak, the word, from my body language, from my tonality, from my life. So that's will reflect, and people won't accept our words. So it's very important, I believe. This is what I see, because when you learn the norms of communication, it's like icing on the top of the cake. It's beautiful when you have all those norms. But I believe in myself, I try to I move this icing away just to see whether the cake is proper. Then only we will see, oh, the cake is not. If the cake is not proper, if only the icing is there, so that won't serve the purpose. So we have to examine ourselves and see whether we have those negative traits within us. I mean, we will not be able to get rid of 100%, but at least if we try, that will reflect when we speak, when we lead, when we communicate to people. And finally, I believe, get rid of all those traits, and we need to enrich with love. I always believe unconditional, unfailing, and unselfish love, which is the most noble virtue that we can enrich. If we really truly love others, that will reflect from our communication, that will reflect from our words, that will reflect from our body language, that will reflect from our entire life. People will embrace us. So I forgot to run these slides as well. So get rid of these 4 aspects and embrace love. Then people will embrace us. People will listen to us, and we can reinforce our thoughts. We can move people into action. We can comfort another person. We know people these days with this pandemic, people live in anguish and pain. Some people don't have hope. I mean, they have lost their jobs. The economies have crashed. So as communicators, we as communicators have a great responsibility among us to uplift them with our words, genuine words, uplift them, to comfort them. So friends, if you embrace with love, you can do wonders, and your communication will be accepted by people. So once again, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity, and all the best, my Toastmasters from around the world. And I believe this is a grand privilege for me to speak few words. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for Sudath for that very interesting and heartfelt speech. I can certainly see why you're an award-winning speaker. So thank you so much for making time to come and speak to us today.